So today we'll be, discussing about a very important aspect of your UPSC preparation, that is optional. So when we talk about optional, general, we'll just first start with the optional thing. Right now you are entering a very important and decisive, I would say, phase of your preparation. So when you start your preparation, it's mostly oriented in a direction with respect to your GS. The GS is important, newspaper reading is important, your ethics part is important, or history or geography or polity. And usually what happens is, we forget that GS will make sure that you are in the race. But optional will decide that you will win this race. This is very important. And even if you are preparing for 2027, if you are preparing for 2028, right? I think most of you might be for this part. So for this, it goes without saying, your optional has to start. And even when we are talking about 2028, if you are looking for a more relaxed preparation, you are looking for a preparation in which your first attempt becomes your last attempt. You get a rank there. Plus, you're looking that when I am giving my attempt in 2028, my class is done, my notes are made, plus my answer writing is also done. But in a more relaxed manner. Even though you have good amount of months for 2027 also, but only till December. Right? So the first thing with respect to your optional thing is when to start. This is the most repeated question which aspirants will ask. When to start? I've just joined my GS coaching. I'm not sure if I can manage both of them. Actually, you don't have any choice here. Even if you clear prelims is just, entry gate. Person getting 0.5 marks more than your cutoff marks, he will also write mains. Person getting 10 marks more than the cutoff in prelim, he will also write mains. That's just the entry point. So even if you are just started your GS preparation, optional preparation has to start side by side. There is absolutely no choice you have. Because if you think that after 8-9 months, when you are done with GS, then you will think about optional. First of all, this year there will be only this batch only. Right? And secondly, the problem is, once you say, even if you clear your GS by November or December, your prelim 2027 will be near. It's not that in January you will start preparing for optional, because now you have to single-handedly focus on prelim also. January up till May is the time you give single-handed focus on prelim part. Now where does optional fit? There's absolutely no space. So whether you are giving in 2027 or even 2028, for 2028 it will be relaxed. That once GS class and optional class is done, you will have lot of time to revise 2-3 times, write answers, get your answers checked. You have to do the same things here also, but it will be in a little bit of rush. If you're giving in 2027, no doubt you have to start today. Whatever is your level of your GS preparation. Here, come. So, question of when to start is, please start now. Optional is not something that has to be started after GS is over. Mains exam is not GS exam. Mains is your GS subject, your essay and your optional. And when we are talking about optional, your 500 marks are at stake. And you cannot leave. 500 marks means 2 GS papers. So if you feel that I will do this later on, or I am not in the mindset that I can start optional preparation, it's a wrong start to your journey. This is very important. So if you have this any little bit tiny doubt that okay, when should I start it, start now. There is no best time to start optional than now. Be a person who starts things early, finishes off the classroom teaching, is done with the revision, is done with the answer writing, and by December your books are closed. Now you are not in that anxious state in January that oh, I am preparing for prelim, but what if I clear, what will I do then? Now your optional is done and dusted. Answers are written, notes are revised. Because when we are talking about optional classes, if we are starting in June mid, by September end or October first week, your syllabus will be done. You will have 3 full months to revise again, to write answers again, whatever will be, the design of the program. As we proceed with the lecture, I will make it clear how we will move. So your optional is your kingmaker here. If you are not getting 270 to 300 range of marks in your optional, you are anyhow out of the race. You pick up any topper's mark sheet. Right now, just recently result has come up, they have given the marks also. Any optional. Person who is not scoring in this range, he will not be clearing the exam. Right? He will not be in the race. He will not get a interview call, and anyhow, even if you get an interview call, it will be just by 4 or 5 marks you have cleared mains. So anyhow, your chance of getting a rank is close to 0. Very rare chance. So here, optional is something which divides this two group of people. Aspirants and ranker. Ranker is someone who will be at his best in his optional. He starts his optional on time, completes the optional on time, writes answer. Because when we are talking about GS, on an average, highest marks in GS, even if you're doing very wonderful in GS part, average marks is 100. I'm talking about 100. And if I'm giving a range, how rankers are getting, in GS range is 100 to 120. This is the maximum range. Even if you write the best answer in the country, GS marks will be somewhere here. But optional, if I am talking about, people get 300. Right? In my both of the attempts and in the attempt where I got the rank, I had 280 marks once and 290 the other time. Right? And both of the time I gave the interview, why even after getting 280 I was not able to clear, because one of my GS paper was not good. But still I got an interview call because my optional marks were holding the things together. Right? So here your range of marks is very, very close, 100 to 120, that's it. This is the maximum range where you can go. But when you are looking at your, optional, and if I am talking about that you have the potential to score 300, people have scored 310 also. So it means per paper, because there are 2 papers, we will be discussing all these things. 150 marks you can get. So this should not even be a question that should I start now or should I do it later on. It's a cumulative exam. Prelim, mains, interview. It's not just GS exam. And even if you clear prelim, what will you write in the mains examination? Right? You will be clueless if you don't know your optional subject. You might have the happiness that I have cleared prelim, but you will be clueless in the mains exam, and rank is decided based on your mains. You know, people who do not have much knowledge about UPSC exam, they think that people get less marks in interview, that is why they don't get a rank. Interview marks are just contributors to your score. They just give a push. That if you were in marks when you related with your peers, you were a little behind by 10-20 marks, you take a push through your interview marks. Your rank gets decided by what you write. Your mains marks, which has GS and optional both. This journey anyhow is very tough. Don't think yourself as a normal student who is probably going to the college. When you started this journey, UPSC journey, I think everybody would be aware that it is tough. I'm not saying that it's very easy that you can tackle GS also, optional also. But there's no choice. That is why it is the toughest exam in India. It's tough to get through it. Every year, only 700 people will get ranks. So you have to push yourself. You have absolutely no choice. And starting at the right time will be leading to you clearing the exam much earlier than the people who keep on procrastinating. That, people who make UPSC exam a 5-year plan, that first I'll see the prelim, then I'll clear prelim, then I'll clear mains, and then I will get a rank. You have to remember, every year fresh blood is coming into this exam. People who are more committed than you, people who are younger than you. Till how much time you will keep on giving this exam? And one thing you have to remember, if the start of this exam is good, you realize that optional is very important, answer writing is very important, daily revision is very important, journey is very easy. But if you keep on piling on things, I will do CSAT next month, I'll do CSAT in December, even when knowing your maths is not good, you will be lagging behind, and that lag you will never be able to fulfill. So don't do that with your optional. Right? Now, when to start, I hope is clear. Next, let's just leave sociology, for a moment. Let's just think about optional. Right? Choice of optional, basically. Now, please remember one thing. Anybody who says that this is a good optional, this is a bad optional, is giving you half information. Even I would not say that this particular ABC optional subject is best. Optional is purely based on interest. If you are interested in the subject, that is the optional you should be taking. If there is a rank 1, say he got first rank and his optional was geography. Now seeing that ranker, you take up geography. But you don't understand it. You don't like it. GS mein anyhow you will do. The syllabus is very less. So it's not much. We are talking about a subject which has the syllabus of graduation. You read BA and MA books. That level of books are there in every optional. You're covering that syllabus. You're not getting any degree, but the syllabus is same. In fact, there are certain people, while taking up an optional, they do distance learning BA also. That side by side my UPSC will also be get prepared and I'll get a degree also. So when we are looking at optional, and if we have this herd mentality, my friend is taking, I will take. Ranker took it, I will also take. I have, probably heard from people that this person is good. That is why I am taking the optional. These are all wrong reasons to take up optional. And in general in life also, whenever you're choosing anything, you should have solid reasons behind it. Not because people are saying, not because everybody is doing that. That's a wrong approach. Why? Because when we are looking at optional, it is something which is fixed in your entire preparation. GS, current affair change every year, right? You'll have new news. If you're reading economy, every year budget will come, survey will come, right? Current affairs, science, some new discovery happens, invention happens. International relation, they change, today they are even changing in six months also. So you have that sense of change in your GS syllabus, which prevents it from, being repetitive in nature. But optional is something where syllabus is fixed, right? Every optional, like I said, let's leave sociology, for a few minutes. Every optional, it has thinkers, people who have read that subject, people who have given theories about that subject. That is fixed. Those people wrote those theories in 1800s, 1900s, and even contemporary theorists. That is fixed. Obviously, we will bring in certain current affair, connection with your syllabus, but that's just an added part of it. Syllabus is fixed here. Now, if you choose an optional based on because ABC person took it, because a topper took it, because everybody in my study hall is taking this, what happens is, if you don't like that subject, you won't be able to do multiple revisions. Right? You won't be able to continue for your second attempt. How will you continue for your second attempt when after reading one chapter you're getting bored? You're not interested in that. So when I'm standing here, I'm giving an orientation lecture for sociology. But as a neutral person, I want to tell you, whatever optional subject you choose because you love it. And how would you know? Because classes will start. We will be going through syllabus. If syllabus clicks with you, and obviously today I'll be telling you a little bit of background about that, what you will be studying in sociology. And if that interests you, take it. Interest is the first point when it comes to your optional preparation. Rest all things are secondary, because there are certain students who are financially not very good, or they are working professionals. They sometimes prepare most tough optionals also on their own. Why? Because they like the subject, right? Take for example, your friend suggested a movie. That's a very nice movie, right? But when you start the movie in 5 minutes, it doesn't grab your attention. You'll switch it off, obviously. Because he liked the movie doesn't make it obvious you will also like it. You have different choices, you have different interests. Probably a different actor, you don't like that actor. And you won't be able to watch that movie. And in this real-time scenario, we're not talking about a movie, it's about your future. This optional decides your future. Even leave, that money will get wasted. Your time will get wasted. Time is money in UPSC preparation. Wastage of time is far, far more dangerous than money here. You will not realize when time will, very quickly pass on. You're just 23, and while you're preparing different, consecutive prelims, you never know, you will be 28 and 29, you will realize that you're still stuck in the process. Why? Because you didn't make wise choices. So optional choice is very important here. And first thing always, that I have certain interests. I don't expect you to know everything which is given in the syllabus. Right? Say for example, when we are talking about sociology here, in simple words, if I have to tell you what is sociology, sociology is study of society. Very simple words. And when we are talking about society, modern society, society in which you live right now. And that makes half of your job very easy. You already live in the society, you're already encountered the dynamics of the society, caste, religion, family, marriage, inequality, social justice. This is not something new in nature. You are a member of the community, you are a member of the society, you know. So when we are studying sociology, it will be about modern society. Right? At the start itself, I want to, make a difference here when we are talking about anthro. Anthro is more towards primitive society. Right? So its domain is society, but the primitive societies, tribal societies. It studies about I'm not a person who is proficient in anthro, but just it's about DNA also. There is physical anthropology also, right? Evolution process, right? Which generally becomes a little difficult for students. But if it interests you, yes, we might just join that. If geography interests you, please join that. I don't want to give you a false notion here that this ABC optional is the best optional, and no, that would be wrong on my part to tell you that this is good optional and this is bad. None of it is good or bad. If, say for example, hypothetically, my maths is very good, I should take maths optional. That will be good for me. If I am bad at maths, that is bad optional for me, not bad optional as a whole. So when we are talking about sociology, it will be study of society, right? I'll come back here. Now when we were talking about the choice, first is clear, interest has to be there. Little bit of interest. Basic foundation that you are interested in study of society. Now, when I see it from the point of view of sociology, the reason apart from interest, second point also, right? It's having interest in optional subject is necessary component but not sufficient. You have to see other factors also, right? So now, second important thing about, a very good thing about sociology is very short and crisp syllabus. If you'll pick it up and compare it with any optional subject, very short syllabus. That is why you can complete classroom teaching in your 3.5 to 4 months. You can absolutely complete the entire syllabus from point 1 to point 2. And this has remained a problem, with other optional subjects, where classes sometimes goes on to 5 months, 6 months also. Because the syllabus is very vast, and if you want to do justice to optional subject, you will need time. And that is the best part about sociology. Very short syllabus. Even if you take the different blocks of syllabus also, we'll discuss as we move forward. I don't want to burden you with what is the syllabus on day one. We'll just do a general discussion today. In blocks, the subtopics are also hardly 1 or 2 line long. That's it. And if you compare it with other optional subject, you'll realize that the subtopics are a lot. There are a lot of blocks. And other interesting thing about sociology is that when we are talking about socio, and we are on the topic of syllabus, paper 1, paper 2, there are 2 papers, right? Now paper 1 is talking generally about the society, right? So when we are talking about your paper 1, general theories about society, how is the institution of family, marriage, what is social change, right? What is social mobility, general theories. How do different institutions in the society work? And now when we move on to paper 2, it is about Indian society. Now half your job is done here only. It's like knowledge which you gained in paper 1 about general society, you apply in paper 2, that's it. There will be just few, 2 or 3 Indian sociologists who have done studies from Indian society point of view, that will be added. Rest, the entire syllabus is repeated. You'll do family, marriage, kinship in paper 1 also. Paper 2 also family, marriage, kinship will be there. Stratification and society will be there in paper 1. Stratification chapter is in paper 2 also. Politics is there in paper 1. Politics and society, paper 2 is also there. So not just the syllabus is short, the paper 2 syllabus is lot overlapping with the paper 1. So by the time paper 1 is done, your half of the understanding of paper 2 is already there. We just molded according to the Indian society, that's it. There can be no better thing than this. That it's not that paper 2 will be totally alien to you. By the time in 2 months we cover paper 1 that you don't have absolute no idea about. No, you already have an idea. So not just short and crisp syllabus, but overlapping of paper 1 and paper 2. This is another good thing when we are talking about that why should I choose sociology. I am interested in studying about society, right? Now when you are looking at that I am interested about learning about society, one thing you should remember is that your sociology knowledge will not be just limited to you clearing the exam. It gives a lot of deeper insights into society around you. And trust me, once the syllabus is done, your thought process will change totally. You will start seeing things from a very different perspective. Let's take one example, right? Now, in India, this term is there. Arranged marriage. Have you heard this term in Western society? No, it's just marriage. There is no distinction between arranged marriage and love marriage. It's just marriage. Now, as a person who has not thought deeper into it or has not studied sociology will just feel that okay, it's arranged marriage. Parents decide this is the person, then you meet the person and then you marry. That's it. That is arranged marriage for you. But as a student of sociology, you get a deeper insights into it. That when we are talking about arranged marriages in India, it has its locus in caste. Why do you arrange marriages? Because you want to marry in your community. Right? Because when it comes to a distinction between love marriage love marriage usually means intercaste marriage. So in India, marriage is very strongly connected with caste. And that is why arranged marriages are more common. Census 2011 says intercaste marriages in India are just 5%. That too in urban areas, that's it. So for you as a student of sociology, arranged marriage is not just parents searching spouse for you. It is based on a decade, centuries old system of caste. And that is why it is arranged by your parents, arranged in your community, arranged in your caste. So now this insights you will get as a person who has studied sociology. You start seeing society with a very different perspective, right? Another reason if we see arranged marriage, when we talk about Indian society, it is based on collectivity. And Western societies are more individualistic in nature, right? So now when in India, there is very common term which we say that, you are not marrying the person, you are marrying the family. So when you go for arranged marriage, it's not just suitable for the person, it is suitable for the entire family, because we are a society which is collective in nature, where we live together. It's not that couple gets married and nowadays jobs are in metropolitan city, probably it has started, but mostly you will be living with the in-laws. Extended family will be there. And because Indian society is not based on individualism, it's not like Western society, you turn 18, you pay your college fees on your own, you search for a person on your own, and you meet your parents probably once a year on Thanksgiving. That's not Indian society. And that reflects in the structure of marriage which we are having in our society. Now, we will do such a deeper analysis more as we move forward. What my point here is, this makes sociology interesting. It makes you a person who understands things not just on the superficial level. You start questioning things, that why this is there in the society, and you are the member of the society. Every day you see incidents. Say for example, in most of the Indian households, this is one example I usually give. Most of the Indian mothers, they wake up first in the morning and they sleep at night the last. The whole family eats food first, and whatever is left, usually the women of the household eat. It's a habit of Indian mothers. We usually see it as love. If the food is less, she'll say, I'm not hungry, you eat. I am not hungry, I had this and that. She'll lie. Why? Because there's a whole system of patriarchy which works behind this, which expects women to behave in a certain manner. So it's not just a simple act of waking first and sleeping at night. Even if your mother is not feeling well, she's having fever, still she'll cook food. And we just see it as a normal thing. But there is a whole dynamics behind it. Why do most Indian households have a separate utensil for maid or for a garbage picker? If he asks for water, you'll give the most hideous looking glass to him. Because caste is at work. It's not simple that, because we are not living in Stone Age. We have soaps, we have detergent, you can wash your glasses. But why are we not giving them the same glass we use it at home? It's not about hygiene. Because you have detergents now. You are not in the Stone Age that, you will have to wash with soil or something. Caste. Now, there are thousands of things in society which we take it at face value. In the name of custom, in the name of culture, in the name of that everybody is doing that is why there is there. What is the reason behind this? That is what sociology studies. Right? And most interesting thing is it is about your own society where you're living. It's not about tribal people, it is not about people in Stone Age, it is not about people who lived centuries ago, today. So you are not studying optional, you will grow as a human being. You'll understand people more better and you'll become the most non-judgmental person because you understand the reason behind it. That why this person is behaving in this particular manner, or why this community is behaving in this particular manner. Why you will find that the people who are working as sanitation workers in India, they are always Dalits. In West, being a rag picker or a garbage collector doesn't have a taboo, it's a job. So in the schools, when you have janitors there, those who clean the school and all, teachers talk to the janitors like they are their colleagues. But in India we don't do that because there's a taboo of caste. So when you study sociology, you're not just preparing for 280 or 300 marks. You are also preparing for a mindset which will help you grow as a human being. You will understand the working of societies at a much deeper level. And at the end, why you are giving UPSC? To become a civil servant. Where does a civil servant work? In the society. Every day you will have one or the other person coming up with some problem, domestic violence case, or probably your land dispute case between a Dalit and an upper caste. Religious tensions will be there. Every day you will come across these things only. And what better than being prepared at this level only? You understand things. Right? I don't know if you've seen this movie. There's a movie known as Article 15. Ayushmann Khurrana is there. So there's a scene in this particular movie where his juniors are explaining their caste, that why that person is not taking food from you. And he's very astonished that, okay, this works in, modern society also. But you as a student of sociology won't be surprised that the system exists, works, and still discriminates. Why does it still exist? What is the reason behind it? Why even after educating ourselves, we are still stuck in those older systems? Sociology will help you to understand. Right? Very recently, I don't know if you have seen, there was a news of a dowry death. There was a girl known as Twisha Sharma. So her mother-in-law is a retired judge. And if you listen to her statements, you'll get very angry that a woman who is educated, living in 2026, how can she character assassinate a fellow woman? Why she is doing that? She should be, if we see Indian society as a whole, usually, people say that, women are women's biggest enemies. Mother-in-law will discriminate, harass her daughter-in-law when she herself has gone through the same process. Why she is continuing it? And these are some very deeper things. And you will understand this, that this is not a joke when we say women is women's biggest enemy. There is a whole system behind this. Where in a system, women feel that if they are on the side of patriarchy, they will be rewarded more. They will have more power. Anyhow, we will discuss all these things later on. What your takeaway from this should be that you understand society with a very different lens once you are done with this. The things which you thought were normal, which were taken for granted, you understand the reasoning behind it, which will make you a good student because it's interesting. You want to learn about it, why this is happening. It makes you a ranker because you are genuinely interested to know that why it is happening, why women is women's biggest enemy, what is the reason behind it, why the Dalit is having a different utensils for water. And today also, if you see, if there are some, these things, these are things we ignore. You try to ask any of your maid or any person who is doing the sanitation work that, come inside and sit. He'll sit on the floor. He'll never sit on the chair. Because the caste has gone into the psyche. If you offer him water, he'll not touch the glass with his lips. He'll drink it from above. And these are not some, things to be dismissed. We will learn about it, why this is there. We will see society from altogether a different lens, which will make you a good human being and good civil administrator. Where if you are a police officer, and you can see visible marks of injury on a woman, and the woman is saying that no, I fell in the kitchen and that is why I'm hurt. You will understand why this woman is not speaking even when she is beaten every day, because she is not financially independent. And you know how the system works. So sociology will be your gateway to understanding the society, and modern society, mind you. The insights which you will gain here will make your journey very interesting in nature. When you will read thinkers like Karl Marx is one thinker which is my favorite. I feel that person was visionary. Person living in 1800s was able to tell things about capitalism which are at work today. His theories are so relevant today. And you will be surprised when you will read about his theories about capitalism, how there is inequality, why rich gets richer and poor gets poorer. What is the reason behind it? These things he wrote in 1800s. Why humans, when we are at the peak of science, we still believe in religion. It's a paradox that ISRO releasing a satellite, before that they perform a puja. Science and religion are very different from each other. Why are we doing that? Why do we still follow religion today? In fact, there were certain thinkers, which we'll do, who thought that once scientific revolution would be at its height, which is today, religion will lose its importance. There was a thinker who said that death of religion is near. Religion is dead. But it still exists. Why? Why people are following this? All these things we will cover in your sociology. We'll cover religion, we'll cover inequality, we'll cover all the institution, we'll cover social equality, social mobility, social conflict, all the things about the society. So apart from having a very practical reason that it's very short, it gets over. Third reason is that you will be surprised to find out so many new things. It will make interesting to study. I'll give my example. When I started my preparation, I as an aspirant, everybody is very naive and innocent, and especially if you are a person who is first generation studying for this exam. You don't have any relative or your parents. Somebody told me that your graduation background is science. I did my graduation is BDS, Bachelor of Dental Surgery. So, you take geography because it is very scientific. So, I took it. So, now when I joined the classes for geography, in 1 week's time, it didn't click with me. That, I had this, no belittling of any subject. It was my personal opinion that will I be spending next 1-2 years, if I give 1 or 2 attempts, in just learning mountains and rivers only, in learning the map work only. It is not adding value to my life anywhere. Then I picked up syllabus. Sociology clicked with me. I thought, this looks like something which is interesting, which I want to know. Which I want to know about few things about the society, which will make me to understand things from a more deeper perspective. So when I took sociology, when in geography in 2 days I was bored, and 1 hour lecture, I was very intrigued that yes, this is the subject which appeals to me, I want to study this. Right? So your approach towards optional should be this. If after today's lecture, whatever examples I have given, if you feel that yes, I want to know about these things, you should join. You should opt sociology, because sociology is something which will be your, a permanent partner for the entire journey. You give first attempt, God forbid you have to give 2 more, 3 more attempts. This will be there for you, and you will be confident that okay, sociology I can handle. I can read it 10 times also, no problem, because it's interesting to me. Everyone have their, sometimes there's a comfort movie, or a comfort series. You watch it, any time of the day. Like there are few people who have a habit of watching Friends. So they'll start from any episode, anywhere, eating food, traveling, they'll just see it. Because that interests them, that makes sense, that comforts them, doesn't bore them. So that should be your mindset here. And as a person who has had this optional, gave 2 mains, got good marks, I can say it from my personal experience, it is interesting. It will make your journey much easy. Right? Now other than your choice, your syllabus is crisp and concise, you'll have interesting syllabus which will make you a good candidate and good civil administrator. Other important thing in sociology is its overlap with GS. Right? Say for example you take maths as our optional, there is no overlap, entirely different subject. Now when we talk about sociology, first of all, GS1, society is done. Right? In fact, in the last few years, the weightage of society in the paper, it has increased. So, history and geography questions are coming, but 7-8 questions are from Indian society and they are tough. But for a sociology student, it is easier because you have already done it. So in GS1, your society part is done. GS2, social justice. That part is also done. Right? Then, when we move on to GS4 also, ethics. Lot of the understanding, deeper insights you gain from sociology. Plus when there is talk about inculcation of values through family, through socializations, through educational institutions. All these things, and some of the thinkers also, like administrative thinkers like Weber. Weber is a whole topic in your sociology. So even in ethics, because in ethics you'll get case studies about social issues also. So you'll have a deeper insights into there. And then most importantly, essay. Every year one or the other essay is on social issues. If you understand you do your optional, lot of part of your GS is overlapping with it. Your sociology knowledge will take care of it. Anyhow, not just overlap. When we are talking about sociology, there's one big thing which you learn from sociology is analysis. Having a deeper insights into things. And this is what UPSC expects in GS also. It doesn't want descriptive knowledge. It wants analysis from you. Why? It doesn't want you to restrict to what of something, that you give few points. But a person who can answer why or how, he gets more marks in GS, and this mindset develops while you are doing your sociology. Right? So these are certain reasons, I would say, that you should consider while you are choosing your optional. And sociology, like I gave you points that okay, this entire thing will make your journey more easy. Optional marks are not random in nature, not luck based, they are structured, they are conquerable. Once you just grasp it, it becomes very easy for you to score marks here. Right? Okay. Now, next thing which we will discuss here is, what does this course offers? Right? So now one thing goes without saying, classroom teaching. Right? So we will be having lectures like, time span of 3.5 or 4 months. We will be having classes. When we'll start initially, classes will be Monday to Friday, because I want the 2 days of weekend in the initial days should be spent revising and understanding things. So you have 2 days are more than sufficient to revise the entire week's lecture, and as we move forward we will start having classes on Saturday also. Right? So now my style of classroom teaching is that it will be interactive in nature. And plus it will be based and integrated with current affairs. Because in last few years it has been seen that when it comes to optional, syllabus is same for everyone, books are almost similar for everyone. The difference between rankers and people who don't get good marks is that they create a current integration with their answers. So even if Karl Marx has given a theory in 1800, you give an example which is relevant today. Right? So all these things will become more clearer as we move forward. So class will be interactive in nature in the sense that we will be having lot of pictures and flowcharts like this to make things understand better. Right? More interactive pictures, flowcharts, discussion of current affairs. Like I just gave the example of Twisha Sharma. That's a current affair, and when we are studying patriarchy, we'll connect with it. Right now when we'll do religion, now anti-conversion laws, or Assam is drafting a UCC also, how it is related with sociology. It's not for GS but for your sociology. So it is not just a static teaching which I'll be doing. And I also don't want to make your work harder, that I just tell you connected with current affairs. I will tell you how to connect it with current affair, and we will be discussing the current affairs. So you will be, time and again, you will be given such examples, certain flow charts, right? And this is apart from the notes, comprehensive notes which you will be getting. I'll show that also. So the classes will be integrated and current affair oriented, because I understand how to move from the range of 220 to 280, where you show to the examiner that yes, I have read this theory, I understand it, and when I read the newspaper I knew how it is connected to it, and your answer becomes different from the other person. There's one set rule in UPSC: you don't have to write the best answer in the country, you have to write better answer than other people, different answers from other people. When everybody is just writing about Karl Marx theory, your answer has that theory, but with each line there is an example from the newspaper, and these examples you don't have to search. I will be doing that work for you. Your job will be to sit here and listen. Another thing about the teaching in the classes, I don't believe that when I am teaching you are taking running notes. Everything will be given to you. Comprehensive notes, short notes, handwritten notes, current affair integration, everything. I want when you are sitting for 2 hours in the class, you're just listening attentively. That when you get back home, you just need 20 to 30 minutes to revise it and you're done with it. Don't waste your time. If there is something to be written, I'll tell you that okay, this is not there, this is something just came in the news, or this is something extra which I read. I will make that write down. So you will be totally hands-free in the class. You will just focus on the board. Right? You have your register. Anyhow, I'm not banning you from writing in class. Somewhere you feel that okay, I want to write, you can write down. But I'm just saying that 2 hours will be 2 hours of pure teaching, not that 1.5 hours of writing notes and half an hour of just teaching. I believe in more productivity in class and not waste, because I know your time is, I have been there in your position. The aspirant's time is very important. I don't want to waste that, right? So you will be having classroom teaching, interactive style, and I gave you an idea how the classes will go on. Now second thing is, there will be inclusion of mentorship here. One-to-one mentorship. Obviously you can ask questions in the class, but if you have not understood or if you are not confident enough or you are shy that I am not able to ask question that freely in the class, after class I will be available for full 1 hour. You can come here, sit down, ask as many as question as possible, because I believe no question is silly, no question is wrong. In fact, you asking a question is an indication that you are listening in the class. I don't want students who are just nodding heads and not understanding anything. So mentorship is not something which is different, that okay, once optional gets over then you have to join a mentor. Mentorship is included in the course. And I have students, in fact 10 minutes back there was a student of last year. She was there with her answers. So it's our correspondence or our relation will not end after 4 months that okay, now you are on your own. Till the time you give mains next year, or even if you're giving next, I am here. Because your optional marks are my responsibility. You have to study on your own, you have to write answers, but I have a certain sense of accountability and responsibility towards you. So mentorship will be there throughout the program. After the classes also get over, right? You are revising till December or next year you're giving mains, it is eligible for that, it's included. So it's not a 4-month program. It's an entire year program, or even I go beyond that also. It's okay, even if 1 year has also passed. In fact, there will be certain students I allowed, there are certain students who gave prelim this year and couldn't clear. And some students were saying that we want to revise few chapters. So you are allowed next year, you can come and sit again if that's the case. So it just doesn't end in 4 months. Right? So there will be mentorship which will be included. Then in the class, probably I should have included it here only. Answer writing is included. Right? So I believe that, in general also if we talk about, when you read for or when you study for your UPSC, you will not get a degree out of it. Our main aim is, even if you are studying GS 1, 2, 3, 4 or optional, answer writing. That's the simple thing. Your rank will be based on how good you can write an answer. So I don't want that after 4 months you are clueless, you don't know how to start an answer, how to write an answer, how to conclude an answer. So once few lectures are done, obviously we need to do substantial, initial chapters. Then every class when ends, there will be a question given. You'll attempt it from your home, and next day in the morning, first day, we will be discussing that question. So answer writing will go on side by side, because students have this issue that they don't write answers. That once optional gets over, once my preparation is perfect, that perfect time never comes. And me just teaching you or mentoring you is also not enough. My job is not just limited to making you understand sociology. My job is that you write an answer also. So you will be getting insights into answer writing too when we are discussing. So usually, like this, next day there will be a handwritten answer. This will be shared in your group. I will be giving you the answer that okay, this is the introduction, this is the body, and this is how you conclude or write the answer. So your answer writing component is also included. So again, you don't have to join anything extra here. Classroom teaching involves answer writing only. Because at the end of the day, apart from understanding the subject, see, you can understand things, but till the time you write an answer, it's useless. Even if you read 10 books, if you are not able to write an answer, it's useless. When I was an aspirant and when I gave the first attempt, when you clear your first prelim, you're very excited, very charged up that okay, I'll clear this time. So at that time, I thought I'll join 2 test series. I went for some time to Delhi. That was the only time I went to Delhi. So there were 2 teachers there. So I joined both of them. I'll write 2 tests in a day. Right? Now, when I attended their sessions, because there is a discussion after the test. Now there was one teacher who was educationally very qualified in sociology. He had good amount of degrees. His knowledge was very great. But there I realized that in the discussion there was just information dumping. This thinker, that person said this, that person said this. And no insights into how do I write it. I am an aspirant, I am a student, I am just giving my first mains. I don't need information. See, today there is no lack of information. You open Telegram, there will be 10 PDFs on one single topic. I want to know how to write an answer. And then luckily, because I had this, you can say an opportunity of comparing to the other teacher. She was very brilliant in the manner. She was not a graduate in sociology, but she started her lectures with structure of answer only. So I would say that, I give a lot of credit to her that whatever answer writing I did or cleared the exam, it's because of her. Because sociology was done. I would not have been able to write answers if her insights were not there. So my job is not just to give you information, you just dump information that I know this also, I know that also. That is of no use. My job as a person teaching you sociology will be complete when I see each and every one of you writing answers. So it will be part of our program only. Every day or every other day, once a topic, we cannot write answers in middle of a topic. Once a substantial topic is done, we will be discussing previous year questions, because previous year, see, sociology or any other optional, if you pick up previous year questions, you will realize every year similar type of question gets repeated, just repackaged. They will change the language. So if we complete the previous year questions in a nice manner, there is a high possibility 50 to 60% questions will be repeated from there only. Last 10 years, if you say same topic, and we'll do all the analysis that this topic has been repeated 4 times, 5 times, everything we'll be discussing in class. So class is more oriented towards clearing the exam, not just knowledge. Knowledge is important to write an answer for sure. But at the end of the day, writing an answer is the most important thing you have to do. Your answer will decide whether you clear the exam or not. Answer will decide which rank you get, which cadre you get. Your entire life depends upon these answers. It's not just simple answer writing. The entire journey depends upon it. It doesn't depend upon prelim. And like I said, interview will just boost your marks. Optional is something which makes or breaks your chance of clearing this exam. It's the kingmaker. It separates a normal aspirant from a person who is a potential ranker. And we will be including this entire thing in the program itself. Right? So, just coming back. In fact, I think they forgot to. Yeah, I think. So this year's rank 360 Jayashree, there is a topper's talk also. I had asked them to put her paper so I could, explain you with respect to how mentorship work or how answer writing work. Anyhow, next session will be there. I'll show that answer there. So the thing is, she was very regular with her answer writing. Right? And that shows she's got good marks this year. She's got 360 rank, and do attend her topper's talk. She'll be discussing about sociology. I think it's in June first week. I'm not sure about the date. So the thing is, answer writing is very important and it gets included in the program itself. Right? Now, next part of your course is notes. Now when I'm talking about notes, see, optional preparation, when you do one book is not enough. Right? Any optional if you take. Some parts will be from one author, from other author. IGNU notes are also there. Some topper might have written a book. So what I have done is, whatever notes you will be getting, first type of notes will be your comprehensive notes. Right? These PDFs will be given where the material has been taken from multiple standard books, plus the notes are illustrative in nature so that you don't get bored in between. There will be tables, there will be flow charts, there will be illustrations. So one part of your notes will be these comprehensive notes. Each chapter will be having, depending upon how big the chapter is. So your notes, one type of note will be your comprehensive notes. Second will be your short notes. Now I don't want you to waste time on even making short notes, because short notes are important for your revision point of view. So you will be shared after every class short notes like this. If you see this one page, you will feel it's just a one page. It's one class. It's a 2-hour lecture on this one theory. So that I have given in one page. So you understand in the class. When you go back, you have this page on the group which we'll have of this batch. You revise it, your job is done. So my expectation from you will be only 2 expectations. You be attentive in the class. Secondly, revise and write answers regularly. I will be there to check your answers. I'm not giving answers to some aspirant or something. I will check your answers. So don't waste the opportunity, once you join the program, that I'll first finish or something. I will be there every day after the class. More regular you are with the answer writing, more better you will get with sociology. Now, apart from notes and these kind of, this is like a current affair about live-in relationships. So we have seen it from a sociological point of view. So every now and then I will keep on sharing this. Now, apart from all this last part of the course, test series, that is also included. So we will be having regular tests after a block is done, after a chapter is done. And in between sometimes there is a long weekend or something, I add 2 days extra, that now you have 4 days. You will not have class, you revise it, 5th day there will be a test. Right? Sometimes in between long weekend, or sometimes I have some work, I have to take 1 day's leave. So you will have your tests arranged around this manner, so that while the classroom teaching goes on, you have full-fledged notes where you don't have to read any other book apart from that. It's already whatever, there are certain books like Harlambus. I'll discuss the books also, don't worry, because you should have a knowledge about the sociology books. Harlambus, Ritzer, Ignu. Then paper 2 has no single source. You have to gather a lot of material from a lot of books. Even there is a magazine called EPW that is very important for sociology preparation. From there also I have material. So all the things will be there, and at the end of the day, tests. Daily answer writing will be there in the class, but regular tests will also form, and once we complete the syllabus, there will be full-length tests. So your classroom teaching, notes, answer writing, test series, mentorship, everything is included. And it's not just for those 4 months till you give the mains. It will be there. Right? So anytime after the session gets, the classes are over, you want to revise something, you're not getting anything, you can come and ask me. Take time and ask me. You can, now also if after the sessions you have any issue on Telegram, just message me here, S0390. You can message me there, and there is an open channel, ACE Sociology with Shilpa. So now if you go in its file section, you will find out 2-3 chapters notes. If you go in the media section, you will have few handwritten notes. Not all, but certain samples have been shared there. So you can check that out. Right? So this is how the course will be designed. So we have discussed the importance of optional first of all. I hope that's clear. And anybody from the online section, if you have any question, please ask. So we have discussed that why optional is very important. Second, we have discussed how to choose optional. Then we have related to it discussed why sociology as an optional. Now I have told you about how the entire course will function. Right? Now we will be having few sessions before we actually start with the classes, because I want you to have certain time to go through the syllabus and all. We will be discussing about syllabus in detail, because I feel before you learn anything, learning syllabus is very important. If you don't know the boundaries of the subject, how will you study that subject? So we will be having full-fledged session on your entire syllabus. Then we will have certain introductory sessions on your answer writing also. Not related to syllabus, general, how do we start with sociology answers and all. Right? And then we will be discussing a session where we'll have a certain insights on current affairs, just as an introduction to sociology, and your current affairs and sociology. Right? So these sessions will be little spaced so that you have time to decide for yourself. Right? There will be one more, a separate orientation session also. If any of your friends have missed, they can join then also. All the details will follow. You can just check from the administrative branch, or you can just message me on the Telegram I've given you. Right? So, and then we will start with the sessions. Once these introductory, you can say sessions or workshops are over, and then we will start with the syllabus. Most probably mid of June we will be starting with sociology, and by the end of September right? Or first week of October, we will be done with it, where your classroom teaching, tests, answer writing, everything will be completed, right? So anyone has any question, please ask. Classes starting, I told you, mostly will be from mid of June, right? And please do, before that, please do attend the topper session by Jayashree. She is my student. She has cleared it from Sociology optional. So I think she's will be there on 7th or 8th. They'll share the details about that. And classes starting will also be, they will inform you when it will be starting. So mostly from mid of June we will be starting the classes. Before that, you can make a decision and talk to the admin, whatever formalities you have to complete about the optional, right? Anyone, any question is there? The next sessions, you will get information about that whenever those sessions are arranged, right? Any questions, please? Any doubt? Yes, anyone else from the online class? Okay, anybody from the offline this class, if you have any answer, I'm sitting here in the staff room, and anybody from the online, please, you can message me on Telegram if any issue is there, right? Thank you so much.